Hey guys, so here at Fraser's Newcastle for the Talk to Me Bro men's mental health night. It's going to be a great cracking night. Huge shout out to Steve and the Fraser's team here, Tommy, Seth, Chris, a whole bunch of guys. Been amazing, they've been huge supporters. We've got guys just starting to roll in now. The Hog chapter are doing a barbecue, which is really cool, which is awesome. And then Luke from Talk to Me Bro is going to have a chat with the guys a bit later and just do a bit of a Q&A and provide opportunity for people to, really open up, be vulnerable, stem the tide of suicide amongst blokes. We've got to get better at talking in the mental health space. Totally got to get better at it. So anyway, you're going to have a great night. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you're outside, you want to make your way in and sign in and get your raffle ticket. We've got a few door prizes to give away. So yeah, it's been really amazing. And for the Hog chapter guys who fed us all, that was pretty good. So put your hands together for those guys. That was awesome. If you're looking for something entertaining to watch on YouTube, look up Matt's Minutes. That's my channel. So just thought I'd have a plug there. It's always really sad when somebody chooses, a permanent solution to what is ultimately a temporary problem. And I'm sure we've all been affected by family members or friends that have, suicided, and it's really sad. And so tonight, I just want, from the outset, just to let you know this is a safe place. It's a place where you can be open, where you can talk to one another, share if you're struggling, and you're feeling pressure, or you're really not in a good place. This is a good place to open up to someone. Just pick somebody with the Talk to Me Bro shirts on. Or someone you trust, they'll point you in the right direction. There is good help around, and it all starts with talking, opening up and being real with one another. You're in. So
yeah, thanks everyone for having us. Like Matt said, my name's Luke from Talk to Me Bro. A little bit about us. We're a not-for-profit charity set up to target suicide prevention and mental health. Started 2018. Through hardship, through loss, not just hardship, but through loss. Me, myself, not personally, I'm Novocastrian, born, raised, probably a typical played sports as a kid, went to school here, fortunately joined the army at 17. I feel in my background, just a lot of exposure to different people, different environments and different stuff, which I think down the track led us to being able to do what we do in this charity. But I just want to echo what Matt said from the start. It's we're just people who've gone through lived experience. We're not counsellors, we're not psychologists. We recommend people to go down those lines, but we also run we find and we know that through the years of stuff that we've done, that through connection and community and mateship and having conversations that we might not have been taught from our parents and in school or anything like that, can really open up our hearts and open up just our lives to new possibilities of like healing and just where we can go with just from what we're seeing from the hardship of suicide, which is for me personally, like I said, with the Army, I was fortunately joined at 17, and over that time I experienced things that I probably didn't really dream of, really imagine what it would be like going to the Army. Deployments, I had a journey with Special Forces and selection through that process, and I was fortunate to, in 2012 I deployed. I was 19, 20 years old, and over there I met one of my corporals in my platoon. His name was Matt. It was just like an amazing leader, an amazing soldier, someone that I looked up to in the way he carried himself, held himself, led troops, led men, led himself. He had some experience with the commando selection course, and over my period of time on that deployment, I really fell in love with the dream of being SAS. And so we sort of, we become mates in that period there, and probably over the next 12, 18 months later, kept contact, kept soldiering together when we got home from overseas. But it was about that 18-month point I reached out to him and said, hey, I really want to go for selection. Like, do you have any tips and stuff and anything that you did? And he just went like so helpful too, just above and beyond. I was living in Newcastle, he's Central Coast, and he's like, let's go, come down the Central Coast. He built army packs. And he goes, come down my shed, I'll set up your pack for you. I'll go, there's national parks and that. I'll just set up all checkpoints and navigational stuff. So we would checkpoint and navigate throughout the national. He set these things up, which would have taken hours, like little pieces of paper on a GPS, and I had to navigate and pace towards it. And then he would go, he goes, what's some of your fears? And I said, I haven't really surfed much and stuff, and with sharks, I might have said that come to my mind. And he's like, right, let's go out the back on the surfboards, and we just used to we never even surfed, but we just sat out the back of the waves, and he's like, how's your headspace now? And a lot of it was talking about the psychology, like getting your mind ready for what was going to come with Special Forces selection. He'd then do not just the physical stuff, there'd be up and down beach sessions for hours, and he'd just pour that time into getting me ready, just that giving it, that heart of giving. So I went on selection 2016 and then 2018, and I got to the back end of it and decided that this journey actually wasn't for me. And it was just like, this isn't actually who I want to be or where I want to go. So I ended up coming home, not really sure what I was going to do when I come home. My whole identity and my whole thought process was I'm going to be in the SAS. The whole thought process was that, like, I almost identified myself definitely as a soldier, but then that was where I was going to. And I got home, and that period there is just something I want to just highlight in just life and stuff, is like that identity. I find as we navigate through different journeys of life, we can hold ourselves as I'm Luke, but my journey personally is realising that Luke's not just a soldier, Luke's enough just because Luke's Luke, and having to really go through the layers of, like, just because I was born on earth, that I am love, I am enough, I don't need to prove anything or be anything or accomplish anything. And in this life, this world that we live in now, a lot of echoing is do, be. And we see, like, even in the numbers, like 55 to 60 in suicide, the rates go up as people get older. It's the largest killer, 15 or 45 in men, but the rate goes up as you get older. And my hallucination for some of that's potentially health reasons, but it's also change of identity, of like job changes, lifestyle changes, and that's something I want to echo. So I sort of come home and had to navigate that myself, and then I had a mate that we joined, I was in the army with too, and we decided to start a construction company together. I was a carpenter by trade, and so it was November 2018, and we're at a business conference, all pumped up, creative, starting something new, and second night walking on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I got a phone call that Matt had killed himself. And I just remember, like, I didn't believe who it was first, like, they were talking about this Matt, and I was like, nah, and I hanged up the phone and I rang someone else, and after I talked to a few of the boys, it was like, yeah, it was this Matt. They said his last name, and I just remember in that moment just thinking, like, and the emotions come over, the shock, the sadness, the grief, the why, then it rolls into anger, like anger at him. He had a wife and 3 kids, and just went through like this roller coaster of over the weeks and days that passed. And I'd be silly enough to not think that, well, I don't think that, silly enough to, statistically, with people in this room here, most of us have probably been touched by suicide, have gone through some sort of mental health journey or struggle ourselves, and that's what I want to reiterate. It's just bringing that to the surface and what we're doing. So I just remember that night sitting in the in the shower and just going like, I'm going to do something big in his honour. So that was my involvement in Talk to Me Bro. And Jack, my best mate who runs Wollongong, so we're Newcastle Wollongong, we cover up and down the coast. We're starting up in Canberra. We've been doing events into Queensland, and we're going to Melbourne shortly. So we're doing stuff, starting to push across Australia and that with the stuff we'll just talk a little bit about in a second. So Jack lost his cousin. His name was Matt too, 37. The stories were so similar on the start of the day after Australia Day in 2018, and his wife Christy actually started Talk to Me Bro, and then Jack and I really jumped on board, and that was the start of it. And then from there, we just had people coming out saying, can you do one-on-one mentoring? And we're like, yeah, we can do this. Started with just selling shirts. Talk to Me Bro was literally where it started. They wore shorts. They used to create these shirts for Big Matt in Wollongong, and so then it just started, can you do one-on-one mentoring? Then can you run programs in schools? And we're like, right, how do we do this? We joined forces with psychs and like professionals, and we put a program together on stats, statistics and awareness and language and how to ask good questions. And it just kept evolving into, can you do half-day workshops? Yeah, can you do retreats? So we started running like 3-day retreats. We're going to show visually like a footage of some of the things we've done over the years. And then it's just, now we've got community events. We're fully community funded and grants from, no, we don't have any grants. It's just all community funding, and we just believe if we keep giving the community, it just seems to keep coming back to us through donations and people just giving. And so we run in Wollongong every Friday, here in Newcastle every second Friday, like ice bars, mindfulness, breath work, some meditation just down at the beach at Dixon Park. We just buy everyone coffees in the morning, come down, first time you get a free shirt, because wearing this shirt and the logo on the back just starts conversations with people that I know for a fact. I'm just sitting down at a cafe at times and people start pouring out to you, and that saves lives. And reflection of my life, it was just to come down to the ice bars, but it was just a headspace I was in at the time. It's like, I really think even tonight, like having this space, we've never done anything in this sort of environment before. But it's like in the community, we're actually really there's a lot more openness about mental health. There's a lot more openness about well-being, having the conversations and that sort of thing. But at the same time, it's 2023, and the evolution of technology and where life is going is moving so quick that our brains can't actually work out like what we're actually meant to do in these new environments. There's pressures that we've never had before, and I think we're in this battle of where we're going of like, oh, I know all these things to do. I know like in a little bit of time I could go get help, but I don't have time for it, or I don't know where to turn to, or there's this massive wait for a psychologist, or I don't know where to go. And it's like, so I think we're in this battle, like in this fight for each other of like, how do we slow down the technology side of things, or just be more aware of it and educate on that, to then have support the self-love side, the mental health side, the checking in on with yourself first and each other, and just where that rolls to. And something that I am just going to a level of, we don't have all the answers. We Talk to Me Ray, not just Talk to Me Ray. I just don't think we all have the answers. The world doesn't have all the answers at the moment, but what I do know is that connection, checking in with one another, having going deep and having the conversations, and showing your vulnerable side to someone, opening up about something that's vulnerable, can just open up a door to a deeper conversation. That's what will change mental health and change society, is the deep conversations on the deepest conversations. Not all the time, it doesn't have to always be deep. Like, I love the surface level stuff and the banner and that, but it's like when the opportunity presents, is like when we need to go deep, is what's going to change. My view is the trajectory of society, really. So yeah, that's me. That's
cool.
I know we're doing.
Let's put our hands together for Luke. So Luke, thanks for sharing and giving us a bit of an insight into Talk to Me Bro. Who was impacted by that video? Did you feel like, I don't know about you guys, my watch just told me that my heart rate went up when I was watching the video, like I think there was something quite powerful at just being still for that 6 minutes 30, whatever it is, and just seeing a bunch of guys, really come together in a vulnerable space, but being real with one another. That was pretty powerful, I thought. Luke, just just as we wrap up this sort of part of the evening, and then guys, the idea is that, hopefully you'll hang around, talk to one another, talk to Luke. If you want to get involved in Talk to Me Bro, talk to the guys in the shirts. And, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot in this space. I mean, I work as a funeral celebrant, as you know, most of you know, and there's probably not many weeks that go past that we're not dealing with suicide and with families. It's a huge thing, young to old. Luke's exactly right. And there's not always, I know just from some of the conversations we had, earlier this evening, there's not always, something that triggers, or there's not always something that you say, oh, that's really obvious and that's why that person made that choice. It's not always obvious, not at all. But Luke, what would you say, just as we're sort of wrapping up, can you speak into how important it is to be connected at a deep level? Like how important is that really for like this type of conversation and this type of mental health?
Yeah, I think, we're partnered with Lifeline Australia, and when the loneliness of COVID come up, the spike of suicide followed. So connection, I think, is the core of human beings. Real, that's my belief of it. And I think you find your tribe firstly, and then you hope that your tribe is a positive tribe. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not you're going down the bad path, but you got a tribe of positive. A lot of time, men, like there's in the Bible, steel sharpens iron, sharpens iron. Yeah, and that's like men sharpen men around them too. Like is our belief, and it's so I think you find those positive people that are in your life, and then it's the last thing I said there is sometimes if you want to get vulnerable, like to have deeper conversations. Let's not throw the vulnerable word out, but it's like to have a deeper conversation, a deeper connection. Sometimes you got to show a little bit of you to then build trust, to then go, oh, hey, that is someone I can come to we can go, the conversation can go, and that's just how relationships, I think, are formed and go deeper, yeah. I
mean, I think one of the great things about the motorcycle community that we probably all agree with is it's a mateship, isn't it? It's a brotherhood. It doesn't really matter what patch you're wearing or what you're riding as long as it's a Harley. But, that's for Terry. Where is he? He's hiding around, hiding somewhere. Yeah, Alf's down the back. Why are you down the back, Alf? You got one of the brightest coloured bikes here and you're down the back. What's up with that? Yeah, I'm sure you are. No doubt. But, like we do brotherhood pretty good. We do mateship well. What we don't always do well is vulnerability. Going to that next level. And I think there's a real opportunity for us to turn this tide as a community of riders, to really turn this tide and show the community what it is to be vulnerable with one another, to be real with one another, to not just check in on one another and say, yeah, okay, but when someone answers that question and says no, you got to be able to go deeper than that, don't you, Luke? You can't just go, oh, really? I thought you were just going to say, you're good. That's all I was prepared for, So, Luke, how do we go deeper? What are some keys that you've seen?
So you're going to throw me on the bus.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you on the bus, yeah.
I think going deeper is sometimes saying less words. So it's like when someone opens up to you, I'm not doing okay. What's going on? What's happening in your world? And then just letting the vocal cords open up. And as they might go down a certain line, it feels like it gets clunky. Just ask another question about, what's happening for you there. Men have we're fix it, solve it. That's the masculine energy. There's a problem. I'll just watch it like in our building team. It's like everyone wants to be the hero a little bit and come in and solve it. And we do that sometimes with our mates, and it's like the feminine energy is they connect, which is normally male and female, but we all have feminine and masculine energy in us. And so it's when I think the male wants to solve it very quickly, when a lot of the time your mate just wants to actually finally unload what's happening for them and what's happening in their world. Yep. And the worst thing I think you can do is this has just happened with my missus. Like, let's go for the deep. I've had a relationship breakup. Oh, mate, you'll be all right. Like, I've gone through one of them, mate, 3 years ago, and it's completely. You'll be fine in a couple of weeks or a month. We'll get over it. Like that straight away, you just completely broken sort of the trust barrier like that. Not the trust between you and them in the sense of I got your back, but that level of, now I just can't go deep with that guy like I wanted here. And it's because every situation I say, even if you've gone through something that's so similar, it's different because that person's going through their lens on life and every experience has led them up to that point is completely different to your lens on life. Yeah. So how they're
Man, it's really good. Hey, can we put our hands together for Luke one more time? Guys, thank you, and girls, thank you so much for being part of tonight. I hope you'll stick around, talk to Luke, talk to the other guys, find out more. Like I said, if you are struggling, make sure that you do speak up. It's not weak to speak. That's the truth, So
let me. You keep going.
Go.
We got Jared here that's come to. We've all given up volunteered our time to come out and just support this tonight and support you guys. So we've got Jared that's come giving his time. We've got Aaron. Joel's on the camera. He made that video. So we'll give a round of applause in a sec. But that is an amazing video that he created. But he's been around talking to me, bro, for a while, so you can have a chat to him. He knows what we're all about. And then there was one thing I was going to go through. Things like we got cards out on the table there. It's got Lifeline. Like we're not a 24-hour support. We're here to chat tonight, but we're not come to us to. We got like partner with Lifeline Australia. They do amazing stuff. Something that I only just found out now, and we've been partnered with them for a while, is that they do 6 to 12 package, like a mental health plan that you go to your doctor for, and then go to a psychologist and have to get in, or a counsellor. They have that service. They're quite quiet about it, but they sort of talk about that course any time. But they have a service that you can get 6 to 12 counsellor sessions. And I would just then echo on top of that, if you ever go to look to reach out, you go to find your tribe. Obviously, this is probably your tribe, but you go to find places. It's like sometimes it's not the first shoe that fits. It's like maybe just because you went to one and it didn't work out doesn't mean that all whatever professionals are terrible. Just keep looking until you find the tribe that works for you, because I guarantee you'll open a door at some point that is a perfect door, and you walk in and you're just like, geez, my world's different now from that. So yeah, thanks so much for listening to us and being present. I can feel the presence and stuff with what we're talking about, so I appreciate that.
Good, man.
With you guys have been here tonight, so thanks very much. And yeah, give these guys a round of applause to give
well done, lads.